Well, good morning. And I know it's kind of rare to get a video from PBR this time of day, but I thought I would respond to a lady that's making a few comments on my last live stream because she provides a perfect example as to why it is so reckless and so dangerous and so damaging for YouTubers who have a high subscriber count or a high view count to slander people or make up conspiracies, because there are no shortage of nutcases that will believe everything they say, and and once they believe the conspiracy, they repeat it. And secondly, that you can't ever get it out of their head. You could disprove everything they believe with video, and they'll still believe the conspiracy. Now, this particular lady, as you all well know, Ryan Upchurch is being sued for the second time over the Kylie Rodney case. He was sued by a YouTuber named Mel. He settled out of court for a substantial amount of money. And he and the reason why Mel sued him was because he said that Mel was the infamous P word, because he had a purple LED light. That was his reasoning why he was in some kind of a ring that sells people not old enough to buy cigarettes, if you can put that together, right? And so Mel sued him. He settled out of court and for a substantial amount of money. And then the Rodney family is also suing Ryan Upchurch for slander and defamation both, because he not only slandered them in writing and in video, but he defamed them with lies and gross exaggerations. He said that they faked having a child, their child was fake, and that they were just scamming money from GoFundMe. And the reason why I'm even talking about this again, so it's been so long ago now, is that this Nancy is still stuck on the conspiracy crap that came out of Ryan's mouth. In one of the comments that she left on that live stream I made just the other day, making fun of Upchurch, crying because his attorney walked out on him because his attorney advised him to settle out because the case, there's no defending what he did. There's countless videos of what he did. And then hundreds of other people made videos repeating the things that he said about the Rodney family, repeating the things he said about Mel, and another lady that has a YouTube channel that went by the name of Zanime X. This lady worked at NASA and was a 2-time war veteran. And because she simply showed interest in the true crime community, Ryan Upchurch labeled her also one of these P word people that, sell people too young to buy cigarettes. It just complete slander. And and the problem is a bunch of people believed him and still do, including this Nancy, who made a comment on that live stream. The first comment she made was that we know for certain that she was put in the back of the car because you can't crawl over the back seat of that Jeep. Well, Kylie Rodney wasn't in a Jeep. She was in a 2016 Honda CRV. And secondly, you absolutely can crawl over the back seat. And in fact, she didn't have to crawl over the back seat. All she had to do was crawl past it because the car was laying on its side. The car was laying on its side, and she crawled along the side of the car to the back up, because when you end up in the water at night and it's pitch black, you probably didn't take a good breath of air before you went under because you were panicking, and you're underwater, it's pitch black, and the car's on its side. You are disorientated big time. And a lot of people perish that way. And typically what happens is they crawl around till they find an air pocket, and they stay there hoping somebody comes for them. Or they try to get out or try to find a door handle or something. And And we know this because it happens so often that there are 4 or 5 YouTube channels that make a living finding people in the water in their cars, Adventures with Purpose and many others. For some of you don't know, Kylie Rodney, 16-year-old girl, attended a party at Prosser Family Campground. This was a popular party place for the kids in the area. It had rained 3 or 4 days nonstop, monsoon rain, and had finally quit raining, and it was going to be a nice weekend. The kids were going out there to party in lieu of their graduation. And she left that party alone about 1 o'clock in the morning, and she made a wrong turn, and she drove down a dirt road that was actually an old abandoned boat ramp. Instead of making a right-hand turn and driving out of the place, she made a wrong turn. She turned left, and that dirt road led straight into the water. And so she drove straight into the water. Now, we know this for a couple of reasons. One is the Forestry Service have a fire tower 5 miles away that has a high-powered camera that caught this on the camera, saw it happen. It was literally a video of her pulling up, stopping at this intersection in this dirt road and pondering for a minute which way to go. And she made the wrong choice. She turned left. Had she turned right, she'd still be alive today. But she turned left and drove straight into the water and perished. And the police searched the lake for her just a few days later and stated it had rained and rained and rained. And this lake is a reservoir for the town of Truckee, California. And the water table was up 2.5 feet, the Forestry Service said, and was very muddy and very murky when the police were there to search for her. 9 days later, the YouTubers known as Adventures with Purpose, who find people in the water, they're side sonar experts, scuba diving experts, and they specialize in finding people in the water. They came 9 days later after the police had already searched and didn't find her, and they found her right away for a couple of reasons. One is the water table had came way back down in that 9-day period. We had no rain, and the water was a lot clearer. So they had that going for them. And secondly, they are experts at this. They have found hundreds of cars in the water using this side sonar technology. And the police aren't experts, especially a town the size of Truckee, California. The police there aren't scuba diving side sonar experts. They probably had one training course on their sonar system. And so they just didn't see her. They actually looked in the wrong place because they looked along the road driving out of the place, when in fact, she didn't go that way. She made a wrong turn. She went the other direction. Adventures with Purpose kind of looks at things scientifically to say, if someone was going to end up in the water in their car, where could it happen at? And they figured, hey, let's go down this dirt road and see. And sure as heck, that's where they found her. Needless to say, she was in the back, the way that we see a lot of people end up, because again, you're underwater, you're disorientated, it's pitch black, you're running out of air, you're panicking, and you look for an air pocket. You tend to want to go up. And the car had landed on its side, and she had crawled along the side of the car into the back compartment, and that's where she perished. That's where they found her. Now, that 2016 Honda CR-V is equipped with what we call an ELDL. It's an electronic load detector and anticipator. And what that does is if it detects a heavy load on the electronic system, it disconnects so that the electronics on the car don't get damaged. We do this because of accidents and that sort of thing, to prevent fires, to make sure the fuel pumps shut down and that sort of thing. It's a safety issue. A lot of cars today are equipped with those. And that is exactly what happened to her car. When she hit the water, the ELDL released, All power was shut down. So now the windows don't work, door locks don't work, none of that. And she's underwater. It's pitch black. Yep, the right rear window was down, but the car was laying on its right side. So she wasn't coming out that window. And water rushed in on her pretty quick, I would imagine. But anyway, needless to say, Adventures with Purpose found her in the water. And the reason why the police weren't too concerned is because they knew it was an auto accident. After some time had passed, this video surfaced from the Forestry Service saying, look, we captured that accident. This was weeks later, but they saw it happen. It was on video. So it all fell into place. They knew exactly what happened. She died in a tragic auto accident. No conspiracy, no anything. A bunch of high school kids didn't come up with some sinister plot to, delete one of their classmates and then hide their car for 2 weeks and then put it back in the water after the police searched the lake. It's just pure nonsense, right? So, but the reason why it's so dangerous and so reckless for celebrity YouTubers or large YouTube channels to put these conspiracies out there, to lie, to slander people, is because of the nutty people out there, the absolute nutcases that just believe everything and never stop believing it. It is very, very damaging to somebody when you slander them, when a huge YouTuber starts slandering them, especially if you dox them. People call their house, people bother them, hassle them, all these things. And all of those things happen to the Rodney family and to Zanime X and to Ickadmail and to myself, because of the following that Ryan Upchurch had, the nutcases that believe every word he says, like this Nancy MVP 69. Yeah, Nancy MVP 69. She immediately made this comment telling me that I need to do some research because you can't get over that back seat and all this, and she was found in the clear, shallowest water. Like I said, both of those things were debunked. For one, you absolutely can climb over the back seat of a 2016 Honda CRV, and I'm about to show you that. I'm about to prove that to you, Nancy, because I believe you need to be made a fool of for the things you're saying. And we know that the water was up 2.5 feet when the police were searching for her. The water was very murky due to all the rain. 9 days later, the water had receded and had cleared up quite a bit. Adventures with Purpose are experts with side sonar and scuba diving and finding cars in the water. The police in a small town are not. And that is why the police didn't find her. And 9 days later, Adventures with Purpose did. And we know that it was an auto accident because we actually have a video of her going into the water. But just to make a fool of Nancy MVP 69, because she made another comment that really ticks me off. And we're going to get to that. But just to make a fool of her, let's go to Grok and let's ask Grok, can someone crawl over the back seat of a 2016 Honda CR-V? And let's see what Grok says. Give me a minute here. Let's see if we can do a share screen. Okay, got her now. There we go. Takes a minute with this. Okay, so here's Grok. And let's go ahead and put Grok up here. Now, Nancy, I want you to pay really close attention, okay? Telling me to do research. A 45-year experienced master technician that specialized in Hondas and was a service manager at a Honda dealership, telling me to do research on a 2016 CRV. I know that car very well. Thank you. And let's go ahead and see what Grok says. And so we're going to say, can an adult person climb over the back seat of a 2016 CRV? Gosh dang, man, I can't type for nothing this morning. I ain't awake yet. Let's see what Grok says, Nancy. And it's no surprise that Grok says yes, an average adult can definitely climb over the back seat of a 2016 CRV. I bet you. Now, I know what Nancy's thinking right now. Nancy's thinking that Google is in on the conspiracy to delete Kylie Rodney. Nancy thinks that Grok is part of the conspiracy now. She will always believe what Ryan Upchurch said. Says, yes, an average adult can definitely climb over the back seat of a 2016 CRZ, fourth generation, to get to the cargo area, the rear passenger seats, or vice versa. It is actually fairly easy compared to most SUVs. So not only, Nancy, can an adult climb over the seat of a 2016 CRV, Grok is telling you that compared to other SUVs, the CRV is much easier because it's got 3 feet of headroom above the seats. 3 feet. So it says the rear seat height, cargo to floor, is 20 to 24 inches, 50 to 61 centimeters from the top to the folded seat back. The opening between the rear seats and the roof of the car is 40 to 42 inches. So it's more than 3 feet. Vertically, when the rear headrests are removed or folded down. When they're up, it's 36 inches. And there's a space between the headrests of 22 inches, which is more than enough to go through. And as we had established, Nancy, the car was on its side. She didn't have to crawl over the seats. She crawled past them because the car was on its side. And you can go on and read the rest here or do the search yourself and see. It says, it's a split bench seat. Now let's take a look. And there's no sense in, reading all. You guys can go to Grok and search it yourself. She owned a 2016 Honda CRV. Let's go look at some photos. So let's unshare this one and let's do another. Let me pull another one up here. Let's take a look at some photos of that back seat. Let's do that. And there you go, Nancy. Are you telling me that a 90-pound girl couldn't crawl over that? You simpleton. See, you make these statements, and you're the one that's not done any research, running around telling people to do research. You absolutely can crawl over that seat, Nancy, and that is exactly what happened. That's exactly what Kylie did. That's exactly it right there. She had no choice but to try to find an air pocket, and so she crawled around the inside of that car looking for air. Or looking for a way out. It was pitch black. The car was on its side. She was disorientated. It was dark. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. The car's electronics had been shut down, and she was in a state of panic. We know this happens because there are 3 YouTube channels, maybe 4 at this point, that are literally making a living finding cars in the water with people in them that the police could not find. Why is that so lost on you, simpletons? I don't understand why that is so lost on you, that it happens so often that 3 different YouTube channels can literally make a living doing it. Adventures with Purpose have become extremely wealthy from ad revenue of videos finding people in the water. But the reason why, I probably shouldn't even do this, but I'm gonna, because it really ticks me off. Okay. When people start talking about another human being that they don't know anything about and start saying some of the just most horrid crap, I want to show you what this person said about Zanime. Someone she doesn't know. Now, Nancy, the lady you referred to, the two-time war veteran, the supposed two-time war veteran, is a very real person, and she happens to be a very good friend of mine. And I'm going to tell you now, she's never been arrested for anything. She is definitely a two-time war veteran and worked at NASA at the time when this happened. She was employed at NASA with a high security clearance. Her military records were confirmed. So you've got no business even talking about her because you don't have any facts at all. All you have in your head are wild speculation, gross exaggerations, and complete fabrications that came from some YouTuber doper that didn't know he doesn't even know what a boutique is, let alone anything else. I want to get to these comments. Yeah, I think, yep, here we go. Let's share this. And her first comment up here, let me pull this up. She says, the so-called army vet from Ukraine recently arrested for, as you can see what it says there, selling people not wanting to buy cigarettes. Kayaking, canoeing in the lake, was found 8 years from her home. Or 8 hours from her home. It wasn't 8 hours from her home. There are no coincidences. She had gone to Truckee to visit her best friend that was in the hospital. And while she's an avid kayaker, and Prosser Family Campground is a very public park that sees 7,000, or would they say? I could be wrong, but I think it's over 2,000 people a day go through that park. And it's a very popular kayaking area. And so she thought, while I'm in Truckee visiting my friend in the hospital, I'm going to go kayaking at Prosser. I've always wanted to go there. Plus, I can do a video talking about this case because she was kind of getting interested in the true crime community like everybody else was. And so she went to Prosser. She kayaked over to a picnic area that she had seen a video of before. She just kind of wanted to check it out and show people what the area looked like on video. So her and her dog jumped in her kayak. She kayaked over to a picnic area. From that, Ryan Upchurch claimed that she was paddling over the body. Only he didn't have any clue where she was at on that 1,800 lake with 7 miles of shoreline, multiple boat launches. But anyway, I want you to read this comment that this nut, this Nancy MBP69 just put on my video about Zanime, a friend of mine, lady, someone that I know very well. The so-called army vet from Ukraine that recently was arrested. She's never been arrested for anything, ever, not even a traffic ticket. Kayaking, canoeing in a lake. She was found 8 hours from her home. Ridiculous. She lives in California, just a few hours away. There are no coincidences. Don't get me started on the necrophilia that she admitted to. What are you even talking about, lady? You are insane. You're insane. And the only reason why I'm sharing this with you people is to show you just how irresponsible it is for a celebrity to slander people on the internet, because there's cuckoos like this one that just start spouting stuff off that's just insane. I can guarantee you, lady, Zanime has never been arrested for anything. She absolutely is a 2-time war veteran. She absolutely was working at Nassau, and all she did was go kayaking. And in the video of her kayaking, there are about 7 other people seen kayaking. In the back of the shot, you can see other people kayaking, people picnicking. There's a lady grilling some food. There's some kids playing with an inner tube in the water. But Upchurch singles her out. Not the other people kayaking, but her. You probably need supervision, Nancy, to be on the internet, because you do not have the ability to process things correctly. This crap you're saying is extremely slanderous, and it is absolutely wrong. But I just wanted to share that with you guys, put that to rest. We know Kylie Rodney died in a tragic auto accident because we seen it happen on a video. We know for certain hundreds of people perish in their car every year. We know that they always head up or to the back trying to get out of the car. It's a very common thing to happen. And I just showed you, I just proved to you that you absolutely can go over that back seat in a 2016 CRV. So everything you believe about this case is incorrect. And now everything you believe about Zanime is also incorrect. There's not one single thing you said that's accurate. This is why YouTubers need to be a little more conscious about the things they say, especially when they got a big following. And I don't know what can be done about it. But the slandering that Upchurch did to the Rodney family and did to Zanime and did to Eck and Mel will forever live in people like this's head. It will never go away. And this is the exact definition of defamation. This lady believes terrible things about people that are lies. That is why he is going to lose this lawsuit. This is why his lawyer begged him to settle out, because a jury is going to throw the book at him. So there's that. Hope y'all have a good day, and we'll catch you later.